Crop Talk TV podcast. Cheers.
With what we have right now going to camp, and I like Jalen Hurd the most. From everything I watched, what he can be if he's healthy, but they've got some Croc. I went back and forth with this one, but everything that you broke down when we first drafted him, and then what I saw just immediately, the first thing I saw is how he comes off the ball. He doesn't come off the ball like he's 6'5", 230. Like,
Right.
and the routes he runs, I've never ever he runs routes legit like he's 5'10", bro.
Right.
Like, when he gets in and out of his breaks, I've never seen, let alone a dude who was a running back, which I think has helped him because, running back, they got to be shifty, which is, I'm surprised that you don't see more of that transition from running back to receiver, because a lot of the stuff they do, that's hit, that's explosion, that's getting in, that's sinking, you know what I mean? And they do a lot of that just naturally hitting the holes. So the fact that he was a running back at Tennessee, or at Baylor, I'm flip-flopping, Tennessee running back, and then Baylor transitioned at Baylor. And the way I see him moving, like, yeah, I've seen tons of podcasts and things like that where people saying, yeah, the Niners envision using him just like Chase Claypool. But I have a story. I ran into his dad in San Diego randomly. I was in San Diego. I was at
You're talking about Jalen Hurd's dad, right?
Yeah, Hurd's pops. I was in a hotel in San Diego visiting some family. I was getting a workout in, and I saw a dude in there. He had a Niner hat on, and it was Sunday. It was weird. It's game day. I think we're playing. I think it was like week 4. We're playing the Patriots. So we just hey, go Niners. And then we got to talking, and he realized I was a regular fan. He realized I knew what I was talking about, and he was just like, oh, by the way, you might know my son. Like, oh, who's your son? He's like, oh, Jalen Hurd. I'm like, oh, I know your son. When you wait for him, he's like, man, yeah. So he went into the spiel. I was, first and foremost, I just asked him as an athlete that's been injured and been through my own injuries, and how's he doing? How's his head? This 2 years in a row now. At this point, it's 2 years in a row that he's lost season, and he was just like, man, I'm not gonna lie, he's bummed, he's beat because he sees Chase. His dad said it verbatim. He says he sees Chase Claypool going crazy over there at the Steelers, and he's like, that's me. That could be me, and I'm better than him. Like, I'm better than him. I run, my routes are better. I do everything better than him. He's killing. So, after talking to his pops, and, he was in his head a little bit. He even chopped the locks. And, I know, you could attest to that. You had the locks at one point. So, yeah, he was in his head and just wanted to he wanted a fresh start. So I know he's about to come in hungry. And
I have a question for you, though, real quick. Can you talk a little bit, because I know you just came off of like a torn ACL. Can you talk a little bit about the mental, for everybody watching right now? Can you talk about the mental aspect of trying to recover from an injury and really what it can do for you for not just 1 year where he's coming off a back, but then the next year coming off a torn ACL? What challenges did that present to you? And what do you think what challenges he might have moving forward with that?
So I would say for me, it wasn't really a challenge mentally, as far as like, I'm done playing. I did it playing, recreational flag, just, being, in an old man league. So I was just running around and did something I did 1,000 times and, just hyperextended it. And it literally just like Giannis did the other night. Like, I was for sure 100% sure he tore his ACL, because that's exactly what mine did. It was a hyperextension, just like that. Felt same way, kind of felt weird. And, it turned out I tore my ACL. But yeah, the mental aspect of getting back wasn't like I wasn't rushing to get back for a season. This is completely different on the scale of this dude's career is literally starting. My playing days are done. Like, so if I never shoot, I knew I was suiting up again. I know the only thing I could do again is hoop and play flag. So, I mean, the mentality was I'd like to be able to be that same person and kind of, get out there and still be active. So I did what I had to do to get back. And now, almost 2 almost 3 years removed from it now. It doesn't feel like it used to, but I still know I could get out there and get busy if I have to, which I feel like he probably is feeling that too now, coming off the back and then now the ACL. Luckily for him, he had the ACL in camp, so he should be really, really good to go by now. And from everything I heard about him prior to the ACL, man, he was a monster in the gym. Like his dad said, like that's what his dad was saying. Like he's rehabbing right now in Tennessee. Like he's ready. He's going to be ready to go. And I think the only tough part about it is just like he was kind of feeling that why me syndrome. That's why he cut the locks. He just felt like it's just bad luck. Like these locks got to go. Like I messed up my my first year, and I tore my ACL. Like, these locks got to go. So I know he was in that why me kind of stage. So once you get over that, I think you start looking at the end of the tunnel. You start looking at, okay, I am still worthy. I am still all these things that I knew I was, before. It's really just about getting on that field. And I know once he gets on that field and starts feeling like himself again, he's gonna be the bully he was in camp. Was it last year or the camp before, where there were a few fights because he was
his rookie year?
Well, yeah, that was last year, right?
Yeah, no, his rookie year, and I was there. Like, I was there. So no, he was. I saw the fight with gosh, when he pancaked. He just put him on his back. I was a credentialed member of the media for training camps and some home games, and he was a guy. It stood out right away that it's like, I'm not here to be your friend, and that's a part that a lot of people don't really understand about like football, where it's a business, and some people are like, he ha ha, like cool, oh, we're buddies. And there are other people that are like, I don't care about you. Like, it's either me or you, and I'm going to do it as such. So there might be some people that get upset with the guy that's being physical and aggressive at practice. Like, man, why are you going so hard blocking and stuff? He's a guy that does not care that you feel about that, and he doesn't care about how you feel like he's supposed to practice. So he was at practice, and he was blocking guys 10, 15 yards downfield. They weren't throwing on the rock, and I'm like, man, why are they not throwing on the rock? But he was blocking his butt off, and that led to them actually eventually starting to go to him, throwing him the ball. But that fight came because, he was ultra aggressive and driving DBs and pancaking guys, and a lot of the other guys didn't like it, but he's definitely a guy that I noticed right away. Jalen Hurd don't care if you like it or not. He's going to impose that big body on you.
I really would ideally love to see a lineup, like a goal line lineup package with Juwan Jennings, Jalen Hurd, at the age, like just imposing, you know what I mean? Like, because back in the day, I know DB felt a certain way playing the Niners when they had to look across and see, oh, there's JJ Stokes and T.O. They're like 6'4", 230.
But even then, Jerry Rice, I know everybody looks at him, route runner, stuff like that, but he was 6'2", 200 pounds in the era where there weren't a lot of big receivers. So you had 6'2", 200-pound Jerry Rice. You had 6'3", 215-pound, 220-pound Terrell Owens, and 6'4", JJ Stokes. Like, that is a huge lineup.
Right. And so just for the imposing factor, I would love to just for Shanahan to just be like, yeah, go out there, Trey, run this. And you know what I mean? Like, that would just be a dope lineup. I really just think we haven't had that in a very, very long time. And I think when teams look up and they see, that we got, no disrespect, Trent Taylor's a great dude, met him a couple times, great guy. But when they look up and they see we got Trent Taylor on the slide, and like, we struck no fear in anybody. You know what I mean? Right. So for that from that standpoint alone, I think they're finally grasping that, and they really just want to develop it in-house, which is why I don't see them making a trade for N'Keal Harry, but I'm not opposed to it at all. I would love
to. We have a question here from Brandon Vincent. He said, can Jalen Hurd be that guy? Do you or do you expect him to mainly be a slot? And I'll start off with this because Jalen Hurd, of course, and I know it's a sensitive subject for a lot of 49er fans who are like, man, like, just give up already on Jalen Hurd. I'm not going to give up on him until he's just not on the team. And I'm not counting him in, but I'm just not counting him out. All right. But with Jalen Hurd in the preseason, when he scored that second touchdown, really both touchdowns, he was an outside receiver. So I think a lot of people thought like, oh, big slot, because he played a lot of that at Baylor, but he came in right away and showed like, well, I can be an outside receiver as well. He played all over the field in that game. But what are your thoughts on him and just maybe Jalen Hurd's versatility and what, if he can be healthy, what the 49ers could be getting from him?
Bruh, yeah. Chase Claypool, he's your 8. Chase Claypool, I want to say Chase Claypool's lined up in the back. He definitely has.
They've done some reverses to him. They've done some reverses, give him the ball in space and have him run the ball.
Yeah.
Fly sweeps.
Right, that and then some, man. Like, I really, really believe he can develop into a polished receiver, plus then that hybrid. I mean, he was a goal line beast at running back at Tennessee. And then he even still, when he was at receiver at Baylor, they still lined him up in the backfield too. I watched all his film. And I've never like, and I can see why. And that's the other thing why Niner fans got to be understanding why this regime is not giving up. They passed up on Terry McLaurin and they drafted him. So they took him at 3. They took him in the 3rd. That's a value pick. They're not.
He was like maybe 2 picks after
Terry McLaurin.
DK Metcalf.
Oh yeah, 2 picks after DK. You're right. And then so he was sandwiched between DK and Terry McLaurin. So it's got to work. You know what I mean? So they're not going to just give up on that, and I commend them for not giving up on it because usually this is a league that'll chew you up and spit you out. And I could understand 2 years in a row where you don't make it off IR. It's rare that you're going to get a third shot. So this is definitely his last shot. And I understand why they're giving him that shot. But yeah, to your question, he can be all that and then some. I have no doubt in my mind that healthy him, he can definitely do it because I haven't given up on him at all.
Crop Talk TV podcast. Peace.